Hello, everybody. This is Punfrugal Streamer. I want to talk about compression. What is compression? Now, compression is very important for your live stream. There is a couple of ways that you can implement compression that will really help your viewers. Compression is just going to allow your viewers to maintain a certain volume despite how loud your vocal gets or how quiet your vocal gets. They'll be able to maintain a volume on whatever they're watching your stream on without having to change it. So listen, compression is not a hard thing to understand. I wanted to just kind of put things together today because so many people go over settings, but you really, to see it visually, it helps to just kind of grasp the concept of it. There's a couple ways that you can do this. First of all, OBS has built-in compression as a filter that you can add to your microphone vocal. Or if you have a specific channel for Discord, you can add compression to Discord because you don't want, your people in your Discord channel that have different microphone levels screaming at different levels, and one in particular that's super loud compared to everybody else. That would then cause your viewers to have to decrease the volume, and then they have to increase it to hear you again, and it's just stuff that you don't want them to do. That's going to frustrate them and make them leave your channel. So look, there's infinite ways that you can use compression. I want to bring up my DAW Studio One and show you how compression affects a vocal track. So I have already recorded the vocal. The microphone is raw microphone, the beacon mic with no processing whatsoever, going straight into Studio One. And what we'll do now is we'll just listen to this clip real quick. Henry Miller once said, "The only thing we never get enough of is love." All right, so that is the clip. Now you can visually see that for the most part, the levels of the audio are pretty close to each other. There are some differences though, like down here, it is fairly quiet, which I did on purpose. And here I have this really loud transient. And this is very typical for people when you're going to begin a sentence, you've got a full breath and you speak out. Typically you have this first little speech pattern will cause this transient like this. So this is what this looks like. So what we'll try to do now is we'll try to use a compressor to tame this transient a little bit while not really messing with any of the other things. So I just really want to knock this transient down. So what I'll do here is I'll go here to my inserts. I'm going to insert a compressor, and we're just going to use the built-in PreSonus compressor because it has a lot of the same settings that you would have inside of OBS Studio. All right, so first thing we'll play with is threshold, the ratio, and then over here we got the attack and release. That's really the four things we're going to mess with. So what we do is I got my audio on loop, so I'm going to start playing it. Henry Miller once said, "The only thing we never get enough of is love." Henry Miller once said, "The only thing we never get enough of is love." Henry Miller once said, "The only thing we never get enough of is love." Henry Miller once said, "The only thing we never get enough of is love." Henry Miller once said, "The only thing we never get enough of is love." Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get about between 6 and 7 dB of compression here. You can see it actually reads the number out down here at the bottom. You see the little yellow bar. That is showing you the amount of gain reduction when the compressor is active. If you don't see yellow, it's not compressing. All right, so what I'll do now is I really want to adjust the attack down here because I want it to immediately engage as soon as it hits that transient. So I'm going to lower it down to, around 2 milliseconds. And in my release, I'm also going to make the release fairly quick because I want it to get out of it as soon as it gets back down at a normal level. Okay. And I'm not going to use any makeup gain, right? So makeup gain right now is going to be set to 0. All right. So now what we'll do is we will listen to this real quick, and it shouldn't really do much for the overall track, but it should tame that little transient down. Henry Miller once said, "The only thing we never get enough of is love." Henry Miller once said, "The only thing we never get enough of is love." Henry Miller once said, "The only thing we never get enough of is love." So you can see that it's really only engaging on the transient and a couple of times, but it's barely doing any compression. That's kind of what I want. So now what we'll do is we'll do a visual comparison. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to select this event, and then I'm going to mix down this track. All right. So this is a stereo track whenever I mix it down. So I need to make it mono. So I'm going to click on this little button here to make it mono. And then I'm going to use my little keyboard shortcut to make it a mono track. All right. So let's go ahead and change the color on this really nice contrasted color. And I'm going to click and drag this up to here, and you can see now, if you look, you can see just how much compression has happened on that transient, how much it's knocked that down. That is what compression does for you. You can see that it has leveled that transient out to be pretty close. It's still a little bit louder than everything else, but it's really close to the normal level of all of the other speech, portions within this audio clip. So that's really what compression is. That's what is really nice. Now I wanted to show you one more thing. What this is going to do, and I'll show you here, is it's going to bring the overall volume of the track up. So that is what makeup gain does. Now, there's one thing that you need to know about makeup gain. A lot of people think that it only does makeup gain when the compressor is active, and that is not true. Makeup gain affects the whole track, whether or not there's active compression going on or not. So, and well, I'll show you that here now. All right, so I've done no other changes other than bring in some makeup gain. Let's bring it just down to 4 dB just to show you. All right, so we got that. So the compressor is on. And what we'll do now is we will again select the event, mix down the selection, and I'm going to make it mono again. Now you already see the difference in the level overall of everything here. Let me change the color and we'll do an overlay on it. And what you can see now is that this is basically overlay. You can still see the very top of that transient right there where it's been compressed. But overall, the rest of the audio clip has, been raised by 4 dB. And that's what we're seeing here. So that is what makeup gain does. So it will bring the overall volume of your whole track up and compress the little pieces that get above that threshold. And so that's generally what compression is. It is that simple. And everybody should be using it on their microphone, especially somebody that is very dynamic. That means that they get very excited. They scream, they yell, they do all kinds of stuff. They're very animated with their vocal. Definitely use compression because it's going to allow your viewers to not have to constantly change their volume up and down when they're listening to your live stream. Listen, if you want to go through settings, I do have a couple videos that go over microphone settings, including how to adjust compression and set compression in OBS and other programs for that matter. But I also have some friends too, including John DeZaz, who is just getting ready to finish a video now. It should be live by the time that this video gets published. I'll have a link in the description there where you can go watch his settings videos, and he'll go into detail about what each of the different settings do and what they mean, so you can better understand compression and how to adjust it for your own vocal. All right, guys, I appreciate watching the video. If you have any questions, please drop a comment down below. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell for notifications. You'll know when I have a video that goes live. But other than that, everybody, thank you very much. Have a great day. We'll see you later.